Melissa Lantsman questions Transport Minister Omar Alghabra on wait times at the airport, 4 hours waiting at baggage claim, and the use of arriveCAN, and privacy issues that go with it. Yet again, no answers. Here's the clip.
With Melissa Lantsman. Ms. Lantsman, the floor is yours. You have 6 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Minister, glad to see your symptoms are mild. I do appreciate the minister making time, but it is disappointing that he couldn't find the 2 hours in the summer to appear in front of the Transport Committee, in which his own party was part of a unanimous agreement for a 2-hour appearance today. But more and more Canadians have seen themselves that the problems experienced here in Canada are different and they're substantially worse than anywhere else in the world. We know that Pearson and Montreal have been ranked number 1 and number 2 of worst airports in the world. That is an international embarrassment. And amongst these delays, the flight disruption, there's a lot of finger pointing. Airlines, airports, passengers themselves, as the minister alluded to in May. And we know a lack of capacity in security agents, customs agents, navigation services, and pandemic restrictions have all contributed to this chaos. Does the minister believe that the government bears any responsibility in any way of what has transpired this summer? Yes or no?
Sorry, Minister, I believe you are on mute. If you could unmute, please.
That is a fair point. I blame it on COVID. Mr. Chair, in speaking of COVID, Canadians know that over the last 2 years, they've witnessed significant disruptions to our economy. They're seeing, and as we are restarting our economy, they're seeing an imbalance in our economy. They're witnessing supply chain disruptions. They're witnessing private sector inability to provide services and products that customers are looking for. They're witnessing similar delays and phenomena across the world. So I know this is a time of uncertainty. I know, rightly so, Canadians expect their government to focus on mitigating these factors and doing everything they can to resolve it. I wanted Canadians to see that from the beginning, their government is focused on taking action to do everything we can to help Canadians. And I hope that months from now, Canadians will look back and see that their government was taking real action, doing everything we can to address the root causes of the issues. We are witnessing
Minister, I'm just going to jump in here. I
am committed to doing everything we can to address these issues. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. I have a limited amount of time, and I hear that the answer is no. Mr. Chair, this week alone, families returning from long-awaited vacations on a number of flights into the minister's home airport, Toronto, which is also mine, waited almost 4 hours for their bags. So Mr. Chair, I asked, does the minister think that this is acceptable? How long should they have to wait? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 2 hours? Is it 3 hours? There is no standard. That's the point. Would he agree that the federal government should enact a service standard for those elements of air travel under its jurisdiction so that we can meaningfully improve travel that he doesn't think the government has any responsibility in, according to his last answer?
Mr. Chair, let me just say that for decades, previous governments didn't do anything about passenger rights. It was our government that was the first government in Canadian history that put together regulations that protect passengers' rights. I think this moment in history has exacerbated and exposed other areas that we can certainly work on together to improve. And I want to thank Ms. Lantsman because this is a constructive feedback. There will be a time when we're going to look back and look at what else can we do to strengthen our system and to make sure that it's better. Baggage handling is the responsibility of the airlines. Having said that, can we do something to ensure that we have a higher standard? I think that's a good point to raise, a good question to ask. And I look forward to working with members of the committee to improving our aviation sector.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think Canadians at home are rightfully frustrated. I'm going to move on to something else since we're not getting any kind of answer. The mandatory use of the arriveCAN app has been criticized by frontline border agents themselves. Those are folks that are part of the union, folks that work in the government, mayors, tourism councils, chambers of commerce, our U.S. border partners. Actually, it would be easier just to list those who support it, and that's only the government, sir. It is adding delays. It's quadrupling the time at customs. We know that. That's on record. People are being wrongfully put under house arrest because of a glitch. It functionally does not keep up with the political health restrictions. It has been cited as having privacy issues. And the one-time secret exemption uncovered last week proves that it's not even about viral spread. So in the face of the overwhelming evidence on its problems and the criticism, why is the government not abandoning the mandatory use of arriveCAN? And why are you instead making it permanent?
Mr. Chair, Ms. Lantsman in January claimed that the vaccine mandate at our borders would lead to food shortage and empty shelves at our grocery stores. She was wrong. In May, she claimed that the transportation vaccine mandate as causing the congestion, and if we stopped it, it would solve the congestion problem. Once again, she was wrong. So I can tell you, Mr. Chair, Canadians would forgive me why I'm skeptical about her assessment. arriveCAN is not contributing to the congestion. In fact, arriveCAN is a useful tool that helps verify the vaccination status of an individual before arriving at our borders. If we didn't have arriveCAN, the processing of arrivals would take longer time because it would have to be done manually.
10 more seconds, Minister, please.
arriveCAN is actually helping process arrivals much faster and helping reduce congestions.
Thank you very much, Minister, and thank you, Ms. Lantsman. Next, we have Ms. Koutrakis. Ms. Koutrakis, the floor is yours. You have 6 minutes.